It is Thursday. It's a little teensy-weensy bit cooler than it was yesterday. So while it is a little bit cooler, it's still relatively warm. So we're getting started a little bit early today because I don't want to be up here too much this morning. But usually, well, when it gets warm, I tend to just stay downstairs most of the time. So I don't get a lot of computer time when that's going on. But I want to keep the streams going, so I'm here even if it's for a short little bit. Okay, I got my tweet out and looks like we're good to go. Okay, a few things to mention. We did have a maintenance yesterday, and since the maintenance there have been some issues with the authentication, the two-step or whatever you call it. Usually if you enter in your little code, you can click it to remember it for like 7 days or something. And since the update, if you enter it and click the little check mark, it forgets anyway. So every time you log in, you have to do it. It's just a slight inconvenience, but there's been a lot of people noting that it's happening to them, so I just thought I'd mention it. If you haven't logged in yet and experienced it, you're not alone. It's just something that went a little wonky with the patch. Good morning, guys. Cheeky Poi Bones. Anyone else that happens to be lurking around? As well, I would like to mention that on the cash shop, if you are a signature player, they're going to start a new thing where some of the limited time items will be staying or introduced onto the signature station. So if you'll notice, the spring decor bag is back, which is really awesome because it's got a lot of stuff for a decent price. It's 30 decor items for 115 omnibits for 230 Pretabucks. So if you missed out on picking up some extras the last time it was available, now's your chance to get a hold of it. But that's on the signature station only as far as I understand it. It's just a little bonus. Some limited time items will come out, bundles or whatever, and then once the limited time bit is done, it will move or remain on the signature station. So if you happen to be needing some of those decor pieces, now's the time to get a hold of it. What went wonky? I don't know what caused the issue specifically, but it's when you log in and you have that two-step verification. Usually if you click the little check mark to remember it for a week, it will remember it for a week, and you don't have to input that little code again. But for whatever reason, since the patch or the update yesterday, every time you log in, you have to do it new. It forgets that you wanted to remember it or something like that. I've seen several players tweet about it, and there's a little thread as well in the forums, probably more than one, but I happened to see the one this morning. So it's not just a few players, just several that are being affected. I don't know what it means, but yeah, it's just something that started up with the latest patch, and I'm sure since it is well before the weekend, they should be able to tackle it, hopefully. Okay, so signature player spring decor pack. Reminder, tomorrow the 22nd is the Battle Chase event. It is to do with PvP Battlegrounds. If you participate in the event, then you have the opportunity to collect special currencies. I think it kind of works like the Space Chase, where you have currencies that you get, and then if you get a bunch of them, then you can cash them in for another kind of currency, and that currency you use to buy items from the event vendor. But you also get opportunities, I guess, maybe there's some quests or something that comes up with it. But if you work on those, you have an opportunity to get a hold of not only decor, but also like the faction-specific hoverboards. There's like a Dominion one and an Exile one and that kind of thing. So if you're into PvP, or even if you aren't, if you want to give it a try, just for the heck of it, uh, mark your calendars. It starts tomorrow and it runs through August 1st. So it's about a week-long event. Good opportunity to snag some new stuffs. Uh, let's see, as well, I don't know if any of you have been using Katya's new decor shopper feature with the act vendor, the acknowledge, and then the new sense acknowledge. I've tried it and it doesn't seem to do anything. So I just took the time to kind of go through some things this morning to see if I spotted anything different. Um, of course, there's these hedges. I believe it's some kind of a cash shop thing that either that or it's from Madame Faye. I can't remember which. But these are some of the new hedges that we can possibly get. This one's a little shaggy looking, whereas this is a little bit more trim. There's the weapons crates, which I believe are going to be involved in the Battle Chase event that's coming up this week. So there's two different versions, the Exile version. Look at those nice little buttons, great for keyboards and such. And then the Dominion version as well. And then you've got, well, the horn that I saw earlier. Where's that thing? Yeah, this one. I don't think I've seen this one before. So many things I probably have shown, and I just don't remember. Here's a new shield. Got little horns and stuff, and it almost looks like it's got like a little stand as well. Reminds me of the Drake and Gong. It has the same coloring and everything, the little emblems and stuff. Yeah, well, that was with, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 updates ago, and I think it was something more to do with whatever I was doing, because no one else seemed to have a problem with it. Hey, hey, Whipple. Glad you could join us. Okay, so another one that I spotted that I'm not sure I've seen before was the Ferocious Predators Cave. It's similar to the gray cave that we get. Um, This one's of a different color. You know, folks have been looking for these brown type rocks forever, and the only way you can get them is like if you use the fence posts and such, and those are kind of awkward and don't give you too much flexibility, but here's some new brown ones there. There's the new bounty board. Little kind of crooked and everything. It's called the Crooked Bounty board. It's pretty shabby looking. Got lots of nails poking out, but for those of you that have been looking for other types of posters and such, this might be fun. Or just a signboard, a rickety signboard. Got some ugly mugs on there. I don't know when these are coming out. I just happened to notice them, so I thought I'd bring them to your attention. And I guess the last one would just be on the Dominion bits. These things here, we've got like the Dominion platform. Again, I can't remember if these were part of that pack that had the hedges included or not. But those of you that have been looking for some nice building blocks, these walls would be really nice. I mean, I like the stone, the black stone that's on the bottom. This one's a little thicker in comparison to the first one. Then you have the pillar version. And then the arch. Again, I don't know when they're going to be brought in, but It's always fun to get a little bit of a sneak preview, especially the stone. I like the stone bits. Even the gray is nice. I mean, I'm sure people can come up with some, especially with the like little fluted ends there and everything. Yeah, the way the shape is on the ends, they'll be kind of, there's going to be some flashy bits, I'm sure. But maybe if you just flip it upside down and just make this flush with the ground, then this part is relatively straight. You could do it that way, maybe. But yeah, I really like the stone part. I mean, this is nice too, but, and of course I can't see, I mean, that might be some nice trim for cabinetry or something, who knows what. I'm sure folks will find some really fun things to make with it. Those are the only things I spotted this morning. I just kind of quickly went through everything because, like I said, I did a scan and then I did the little acknowledge bit and it didn't work for me. So I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong or what. But so we are back on Parsnip's plot. This is my second version of the modular house that we have been working on. The last bits that we worked on were, I think it was the mailbox and the television inside. Yeah, and the base, I think, was the main things that we tinkered with. So today we're just going to work on adding some additional final details. You'll notice I went ahead and got rid of the other little house there, mostly because I was wanting to check how many pieces I've used so far. In total, this is about, I think it was 815 pieces. So I'm still well under the 1700 limit. That does include, you know, the 200 and something for the building itself. So I'm doing okay, not too bad. And yes, Bones, I agree. We do need a new section. That would be most helpful. It's not that, you know, I don't appreciate Katya's efforts and incredible work on the add-on, but there's a lot of her add-on that I wish was just automatically included in the base tools that we have for housing. Okay, so yesterday I did send myself a mailbox, a handy dandy freaking one that I've got like hundreds of. And I wanted to show how I usually set this up if I'm going to make this an actual interactable mailbox here. So usually I just scale it down, and just scale it down to however size you need to get it to comfortably fit without being visible. And then I'll place it and I'll turn off my editor mode so I can see if it's got the little icon popping up over it, and it doesn't, so that looks okay. I'm noticing though that this is pretty high compared to her, so I may want to lower that a bit. Now, because I was checking how many pieces were in this particular build so far, everything's been linked up, so I'm going to have to unlink the bits here to be able to change it. Okay. Oops, don't want to duplicate that silly thing. You too, Whipple. Thanks for dropping by. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm unlinking it from the main bit here, and I'm relinking it just to itself, sort of, I think. I'm trying to get this to go a little shorter for her height there. A little bit better. Okay, there we go. Let's relink that up. Don't have to link it all back, but I'm just doing it anyway. But that's what I'm kind of talking about. Just be careful about what you link. I was like later, I was like, oh no, I linked that all up, and I probably didn't want to do that, but it's all right. Okay, so we have the mailbox set. You can see that when you turn it off, the little icon doesn't show. Well, there's that thingy right there. Forward a bit. Because if I make it so that it's kind of hidden inside, then you don't get all that like green outline issues. As long as you're close enough to the faux mailbox, it'll behave as if it's interactable. So you can see the little pop-up there, which is what we want, so good, good. Okay, let's see, we talked about the door. We probably should try to do some kind of window treatments as well. See if we can keep it kind of plain Jane. Let's see. For the doors, for those of you that have gotten one of these houses, I'm sure you've noticed this. There's actually glass here. It's pretty invisible looking because I think the edges are the frosted corners and stuff don't really show up because of how I've got them placed. But there's actually glass there. You know, you could decide to maybe layer it up if you want to make it a little bit more visible, like so. That way it looks a little bit more frosted than it did. Not required, of course. Notice I can't get up under here. It's because of the height of that silly roof. Anyway, what we're going to do, I think, is see if we can make like a sliding glass door that's basically open. I don't know if we're going to get away with it because I think it'll depend on how far in I can push it. So let's just try see what kind of sizing we've got going on here. I may have to use a couple of pieces for one door. Now, don't give Poi no trouble. See, what I would love is just have that frame by itself with no glass. That would be very awesome. I'm gonna place that there for the moment. You guys, behave yourself. think that'll be too narrow for that entranceway, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah. A little too narrow. Okay, something like that. It would be better if I can put it like more in the middle and then have it look like one pane is centered and then the two slide out, but something like that. You guys, you've been staying cool. I think we're actually starting to hit a little bit of a cooler bit. We had like a sprinkle, I mean, literally like a minute or so of light sprinkles, which kind of made it actually more muggy than it was. And but overnight, I think yesterday I think it got up to like 32, and now it's like, I think it was the last I checked, it was supposed to be about 26 for the high today, so that's much better, much more tolerable, but still, like, bleh. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to change this up, I think. Trying to decide how I want to do this. Do this for now. Can't make up my mind how I want to stand. Oops. You guys are distracting me with the chatter. Not gonna quite work what I'm thinking. Like this. I'm attempting to make some kind of like a refrigerator section here, like a little mini fridge type of thing. I don't know if it's gonna work out right, but I'm gonna try it. Something that one of you guys mentioned mini fridge, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can make something along those lines. Try this. Like, why is that like funny looking? There's something I did. Mhm. Oh, that's actually out, isn't it? I'll get it here in a second, maybe. I keep, oops. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are on now. Like talking about bondage and stuff. You guys. Let's see. And then for the doors, I don't know what I could use for that. I want it to be something similar to the rest, but I don't think I can get away with it. These were a little tricky to kind of get looking right, so I don't know. Oops. Maybe that could be just the handle thing. I don't know. Something like that. Set managers. I don't remember where we left off. 17, 18, somewhere around there. Add an extra little shelf there. This looks a little off. There we go. Magnetized container can definitely work if you want. I think it's a craftable, if I remember right. Yeah, but it has a nice little handle on it. Actually the Shadesy one works too. I think it's just that's a little bit less available. Okay, so now we have like a little mini fridge. That'll work. Not exactly kind of uniform, but doesn't have to be. And we are working kind of in a confined space, so you have to kind of figure out what you want to do. I mean, you could remove one of these sets of drawers and put in like a dishwasher, trash compactor if you want. You could, instead of having shelves over here, we could add another thing and put like a microwave in. Stuff like that, you do. We'll leave that there though. I think that'll be okay. Could sink this in to match the depth of that, but I think I like that it's there. Okay, what else can we add in here, or should we add? Oh, right, we were gonna work on the window treatments. That's gonna be a one, I think. Usually when I'm looking for flat stuff, I'll go for like the wall decor, which we have like the little hoogle thing. The bed is kind of golden looking, so maybe we can do something with the hoogle picture. Maybe. Let's see. Well, the hanging wires, they tend to kind of be hard to see if you make them super small. Handles, if you're really struggling to work for handles and things, a pillar would work. I'm using the suitcase, but it's mostly because it matches the coloring of most of the other stuff. But like here, I use the sterile medical tables. I could just copy that again and bring that down here if I wanted. You can do pillars. Pillars are usually pretty good. The hammers work nice. I think it really just depends on what everything else looks like, and then pick something that is pretty close to it. So like you could do it like this. Even have it sticking out so it looks like it's an actual grabbable handle. You could double it up like we did with the spoons over here, and go like so. A little handle like that. There's lots of items that have like handle type things, like the firewood, little metal curved metal bit for that. There's the tops of those pots like this. It's a little handle. Things like the body scanner has that really long bar that could be used as a handle. Some of the tanks have little handle-like features you could use. So like, pop that down. I just got myself stuck. The only thing is this one I don't think is, the handle part is not in line with the right angle. So you'd have to kind of guess about where it is. Feel like that. This would be good for like a safe, if you want to add a safe and make your own little safe handle rather than always using the ornate chest one. If you don't want both showing, just kind of tilt it a bit. Almost looks like a frying pan, like a little saucepan kind of thing. Make a good keyhole as well for like a locked chest that you want to make. Oops. What else? Anything long, really. I mean, I've used fence posts even, or fence pieces, I should say. Like the handle of my teapot, I used the, I think it was the Draken one. Not sure which one it was called. I don't think it, yeah, it was this here because I liked the wooden post. So if you have like an Oran themed kind of kitchen and you need something naturey looking, using the post of this would probably work okay. The main thing is that you want to pick something that, again, matches whatever you're doing, and then also shows up well against the background. Like, you don't want to use the black on black, that kind of thing. Trying to think what else. For like the that would make a funny looking handle. Where is that? Yeah, these might work as some kind of handle. If you're wanting to spend, I mean, if it's really important that you have that particular look of those little scroll bits, and you're willing to cop up 5,000 per, you could use those as handles as well. Just I mean, look at those. Looks like a lightsaber. But again, it's relatively expensive to use, so it wouldn't be my choice. I would, even as awesome as it looks, I probably would only use it for very sparingly. Not something that I would want, need, 15, 20 of those. That would be not a good idea. In my opinion. Okay. That would make a nice little ornate handle, like on a dresser type of thing, or just some decoration for the dresser. That would be nice. Like, again, it's 5,000 renowned, so it may not be what you want to spend, but like if you want to add some kind of a golden decoration to go with the gold sheets, you could Just add that little accent. That might be nice for something. You could put that on a fireplace even, if you want to add a little accent to that. Anyway, we were talking handles. There's lots of things. You like to use tops of pots and things. There's the covered silver pot. It has some handles on the sides that you could use as handles for your drawers. All right, Bones. Don't be talking about food. I'm gonna be getting hungry. Someone asking about entrance telepad thing. Okay, anyway, Dominion shelf. Is that the Imperium one? I guess what you mean. The really it's that one that looks like kind of a clearish white bit. Is that what you're talking about, or the actual bookshelf? It's really both would work, but probably if you're going for Dominion style, I'd say use some gold accents, because I assume some of the gold is showing as well, but I don't know. Okay, so we still need a faucet type of thing for this little sinky bit. So let's see what we can dig up for a faucet. Think there's a few things you could probably use. Like I said, there's the water hose. The only reason I'm not using that in this case is because the way it's turned and how the hose sticks out, it would be sticking out the back, and I don't want that going on. So there's some tanks and like I don't know what you call it, hardware and stuff that sometimes has some little doohickeys that you can use to represent faucets and things. A lot of people's favorite is just to use the bathroom sink or the kitchen sink and sink that in so that just the faucet part is showing. I was going to say, could try and use the little cargo stacker as the water, but I don't think that'll work. I'm going to see though, just for giggles. Like you could maybe use that. As the faucet thing. I think that's too hilarious. So hilarious, I'm going to use it. Even though it doesn't really match anything, I think it's funny to use that as water, like it's pouring down. Only my brain would come up with something like that. But wow, that's a pretty good deal because those usually are pretty expensive. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes you find some really amazing deals. I'm sure there's someone that like just that's all they do all day is snipe those kind of deals from the auction house. I just don't have the time or the patience, I think, to sit there for that long and try and get some of those good stuffs. I just happen, if I check it and something happens to be there, then cool, and if not. So since I've used this little yellow accent, I'm going to try and figure out some other yellow things to add to this. Maybe that'll be all my like, yeah, I think the yellow might be some of the X. So let's see what we can do for the windows before I get distracted yet again. Too easily. I'm like the Doug the dog. I get a squirrel and I just kind of meander off. How do we want to do this? I'm not sure what the easiest way is. Let's see. I feel a sneeze coming on as well. That's not going to help. Might be super expensive item-wise. And look totally ridiculous, but I'm going to try it just to see. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm sure the little Hugo face is showing, which should probably make it a little weird as well. I don't know. I think that's not going to work. Yay for experimenting. maybe. Something like that. It looks a little, looks more like a one of those, what do you call them? Like a boa? Is that what it's called? What it's reminding me of anyway. Notice again, I'm just kind of eyeballing, seeing if it works for me. If not, then I'll take it down. So let's see, I'm supposedly trying to use this like it's like the little tie. I don't know if that makes sense, but oops. Oh, that's that. Like the little curtain tie, if that makes sense. Does it make noise? I honestly don't know. The only one I've been using is I think it's the Battle Lantern, the Osun one, the orange one, and if they do make noise, I better check it because I've got like some really big ones in Melon's plot, and that may be a problem if they do. Okay, so I want to link that to that one. That one's on it, and link this one. There's the weird little, wow, can't get out of the door. Now, if you wanted to get really picky about it, you could cover those up. But I'm gonna leave mine like that. It's really frilly looking. It looks like somebody's hair. That'd be a good hair piece for a painting. Golden, like, I don't know, Goldilocks or something. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and add, I think I'm going to about making this look like it's framed with some wood in the middle. just so that it's clear that there's glass there. Don't want to like this, that. There we go. I never noticed any of the lights having sound, but that doesn't mean that they don't. Very well could have some noise attached to it, like a hum sound or something. Okay. Oops. Now, I probably should have just, looks like my window's not the same size. Figures. Let me just do it like this. Even though they should be, apparently they're not. Yeah, well, the fires, they certainly have a lot of sound effects to them. And a lot of like the generators and stuff, they have a lot of, I mean, even the windmill, it has like a squeaky sound, and same way with the, oh, what do you call it? Can't think of what it's called. Notice this one doesn't look as frosted as the others. I have to fix that. Otherwise, it just bugged me. Okay, so there's one window treatment there. Let's see. Link all this up to one of the Google dudes. Again, I could probably just say link all of the Google pictures together, but I don't know. It's a bad habit of mine, just kind of ignoring that. Now I should be able to link all of that here. Link. theory, have it kind of lined up with the other one. And I have to add a little step there or something so I don't get stuck on the thingy. There we go. So there we have some weird bedroom curtain stuffs. If you want to see, just like we were going to do with the other portrait, we could do the same thing with the Hugel ones. Just maybe put the Hugel emblem in the inside here on the drawers. Maybe just make a large thingy. That's really large. It's getting really fancy looking. But that way it kind of matches if you want to do it that way. Not required or anything, obviously, but you just want to jazz it up a little bit. Let's see. What can we do? I don't think I want to do these the same. I want to do these a little different. If the cobwebs didn't move and they were a little bit brighter looking, which probably you could get that by just layering several of them up together, I would say you can make like a lace type of curtain, but you could just use something else. See what we can use. Looking again for something flat, mostly because I don't want it sticking out too much on the other side, so, or at all actually. So looking for something flat. There's floors. You could use the triangle pieces maybe. Get that little fluted bit if you want. If you could just do something like square across the top. I think we saw somebody using books for the curtains. That would work really nice. Want something a little natural, since this is mostly wood and it's got some dark, in theory, dark leather chairs and that kind of thing. So let's look at the wall decor, what we have. Counters would be kind of a little more difficult because you got all the picture pieces you might not want showing up, but probably depending on what it's being used for, on whether or not it could work. Travel posters would probably work really nice as well if you're going for something a little metallic looking. Doing a quick Google if I can see something that catches my eye. You could use the drapes. Those are just as fine. I think what we'll do is, I think we'll just use these books here and see if I can make a curtain thingy out of those. Gonna be a little tricky though, because of the way I want to do it. I don't know if it's gonna look right. Oops. You lined up right. Oh, that was good. She's excited about the window treatment. That's what it is. I don't know if that's gonna look right or not. I'm wanting to make something look striped, is what it is. Again, this is a lot of pieces, but since I know I'm pretty far under the thing, I'm not too worried about that. Under the limit. I don't know how many of you are actually paying close attention to that. I know at least one or two have been watching it and making sure they stay within the limit and have been asking about it. Really, it's just a guideline. If you happen to go over it, no one's going to penalize you. Um, but, you know, part of the thing about these uh, challenges is, you know, to kind of give yourself some specifics. Like there's some builders, in fact, I know of one in particular, they give themselves the challenge of building something within a certain time period. They say, okay, I'm giving myself 3 days, gonna go with this theme and, you know, just build it with whatever they happen to have. Maybe they restrict themselves where they can't craft something, you know, whatever it's gonna be. And that's kind of what these challenges are. Is it just kind of gives you some general rules to stick to and see how much, you know, maybe a challenge in the future will be like you can't use anything but building blocks, and I'm talking like from the building block section of the housing vendor or the craftables or something. Well, of course I don't think there's actually any craftable building blocks, but like that would include like just the floors and the walls and the pillars and the 2x4s and the hover park pieces. That's pretty much, although I guess hover park wouldn't fit in the building block, but you understand what I'm saying. Or, you know, maybe you're only allowed to use plants of some sort, plants, bushes, trees, anything, and to create something out of it. You know, maybe it's a topiary contest or something to fashion a topiary sculpture kind of thing. Um, while whoops, while the guidelines aren't like required, it's kind of fun to kind of just set that into your head that, well, okay, I have to stick with this. Because, you know, if you just kind of go with, like, leave it really free, yeah, you can kind of stick with it, but um, I don't know. I think it just adds to the challenge. That's the main thing. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. It's a little weird. Like just books are floating on the thing. Mostly because I can't push them out too far from. Otherwise, they start sticking out the outside. It's probably what's bugging me. Yeah, that's pretty tough on glass because there's so few items that you can use that don't poke through where you don't want it to. But that's what I mean. Some of us give ourselves our own little um, kind of mini challenges. Like for the most part, I tend to only build a lot of my stuff straight from the housing vendor. It's not like I have to. My character has access to a lot of the like the reputation vendors and stuff. I could get the Starcom stones if I wanted, but I tend to avoid that most of the time, generally speaking, just because I know not everybody, especially beginner builders, have access to that, and I want to show them things that they can make without having to have that. So they're not pressured into leveling fast or zooming through the content just to get that particular decor. You know, for other builds, I might go ahead and splurge, or I hunt the AH for specific things, but oops, oh well. If you don't want to click, 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 you could just grab a couple of the newer ones and do it that way as well. I just, I like clicking for the fun of it, I guess. Yeah, they're floaty books. This would be like a good accordion. We've seen people use the books for pianos, um, some kind of strange pillar. Just looks like accordion to me right now. So like if I'm tired of clicking, I could just recopy these. Or you could just link up a bunch, like if you think you're about midway, and then copy it over, and then you might only have like one or two left to do. Okay, so there's that little bit. Now I can't do the radius and link them all together that way because I'd be afraid I'd pick up some of the chairs, so I'm going to have to link these all together, link them to the one end. This is always fun. I just sometimes, if I have something like this, I just start clicking and I'm not really paying attention where I'm selecting. And then you go back through, you'll like click on the parent and you'll see if you skipped any because it doesn't light up purple. Now, the only time I have trouble with that is like if you're using interactables, they don't tend to light up purple. At least the benches and the chairs don't tend to. I don't know about the doors and stuff, but for some reason, the interactables don't light up purple nicely. I actually made an accordion one time on my uh, entangled plot way back when. Not existent anymore, but I have videos of it. But yeah, there was an accordion player in the Snuggly Duckling, so in my Cuddly WildStar bar, there was a little stool, and he had the little guy had like a ball and chain because they like had him there by force to play music for them. And he had one of those. I don't know if it was called an accordion, but it looks like it's round. It's not the straight one with all the little buttons and stuff. It's just the little hand one that you do. And I made it out of, let's see, I think it was tiny Chua cups. I think it was that, or some kind of bowl or something. I can't remember offhand what I used for it. But yep, I made one. But it's right there. There's the stage with the piano on it, my really awful looking little piano. And just to the right of that was the little stool where the guy would be sitting, and I had the ball and chain there, and then this little accordion thing on the seat. Where's that last one? There we go. See just how far I can push this in without it showing. So just a little overhang kind of thing. You've probably seen it. It's just like a little straight bit. I'm sure there's a special name for it, the type of uh, covering you get. Maybe it's like some kind of weird blinds or something. I don't know. Guess if I could get it like long ways, right, then that would look more like finishing blinds, and you can add like a little thing. But this is just a little topper. Um, Typically, you'd have the topper, and then sometimes you'd have like little lace curtains that come down um, along the sides. We'll just do it like that. Is that what it's called? I have no idea. I gotta look that up. Apparently, that is the word. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But we're just gonna leave it just that. We're not gonna add the extra curtainy bits, but you could. Yeah, it's one of those. The pelmet. The pelmets, usually that's, I think, is referring to the part that's hiding all the bracketry that's above, like the curtain rod and everything. If you don't want that showing. We actually have one of those on our curtains downstairs. But it's usually just a straight piece. You can get it in other shapes and stuff, and usually it matches whatever curtains you're using. So like I would like have like this, but then down this way. But I don't want to box it in like that. I think it'll look even more weird than it already does. So we're just going to bring this set over. Whoops, did I miss a book? I think I missed a book. Oh well, we'll fix it in a minute. No biggie. Leave it to me to miss a book. Now, if my windows are lined up like they should be, I should be able to just line these up like so, and then push it over. Well, look, that one's like stuck out there. Where is he doing out there? Weirdo. Now I have to check and see. It might be sticking out the other one as well. Isn't that strange? About this. What are you doing out there, mister? Just in the glass there. That was kind of weird though, having that off like that. Seems fine here, so I don't know why it placed it funny. And we'll do these a little different, I guess, since apparently my window thing is a little funny. Notice I'm just eyeballing again. I'm not really sure if that's centered or not. Yeah, I hate those updates. I don't know if that's going to be sticking out the top or not. Look at that from the outside. Well, that was fast. Mine would take forever to reboot. I guess that really probably should go up a bit. Something like that. Notice I'm not worrying about too much about the framework. There's a little bit of frame here, but nothing on the top and bottom. That's okay. Now let's hope this matches on the other side. Don't hate me if it doesn't, because I know my My crafting skills and shaping this stuff isn't perfect by any means. Oops, I'm gonna have to change that a little bit. It's all sticky outy up there. Yeah, see, they were a little off. My cruddy craftsmanship. Let's see, how are we gonna fix that a bit? Well, if I make it smaller, that means the frame is gonna be smaller. But I also want the glass to be the right shade. I'll just do it like that, I guess. Still kind of the same look, but a little fixed. What was that? 0.38, I think. There we go. Now we got a little treatment there. See, that looks a little better from this angle. Oh, oh, okay, you didn't have to like do a full reboot. That's what usually mine complains about. It's like Wednesday mornings before the house tour stream, I have to wait until my computer does its weekly scan thing. And it like zooms through until it gets to about 96%, and then it just sits there forever. Like it's all this little finite stuff at the end is just got to take it. It's full concentration, and it's like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Usually, if I do anything while it's doing the scan, it lags out majorly, so I have to wait until it's all sorted. Okay, so I think we're getting pretty close to those final details. We don't need any, much more. I mean, there's lots of things you can add. You can add some the plate and like table setting at the little table here. We could add another. Well, I haven't added any lighting, I don't think at all. So maybe we put like a chandelier of some sort right in the center. Um, well, actually, we put some little lighting here, I think, on the bed. Two little night lights. So we could put like a chandelier here, right above the table there. Um, maybe some spotlights. You could add those to showcase your little collectibles inside the glass if you wanted. We could add some more details like books and things there. We could add a little cabinet or something here for like collecting your keys and stuff, and maybe a small little capstock, what is that? Coat rack, hat rack, or whatever. Something that you hang your keys or your umbrella or something. Might put that there. But I think, guys, we are going to call it good for now. Starting to get pretty warm here, so I'm probably going to be sneaking off to the downstairs and spend the rest of the day avoiding the hot computer room. Yeah, just changing the glass helps. It just gives a better definition to the windows. I mean, if you want to keep it uniform and keep it the same, but I kind of wanted to show different ways of doing the windows. I'm sure others will find, I mean, you can make little patterns. Um, if you want to add colored glass, you could tint it up a little differently. Um, you could have a broken glass if you want, I guess. Try and make it look a little broken. Don't really want you removing any pieces, but you maybe if you kind of, I don't know what you can do. There's a lot of things. Yeah, that just gives some idea of some of the things you can work with. Like I said, you could use the straight up drapes. Those would work. Probably the straight one is easiest because the one that's split, it would probably have to be pretty huge to at least go the width of this, I think. But if you use like the straight one, which in this instance with the white, um, it's probably relatively accessible money-wise. You could just hang like 2 of them on each end and maybe have 2 others across the top like that. The brackets might look a little funny, but depending on what else, I mean, you could add a little cover over top of it and it would look okay. So like for instance, I could use it here if I want. This lined up right. Make you dink that down. Something like that. And then you have the little side curtains, and that would be your topper, kind of hide it. The only thing I wouldn't like is this little bit hanging out. The only way to avoid that is to make it even smaller, and then it'll be too short for the window, so really it needs to be a little longer because that's a little funny. Just remember, you don't have a whole lot to sink it in, so something like that. But like the towels, those would work okay, or a curtain type of thing. And I'm sure there's some other things that you could figure out. Anywho, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for joining me. Again, reminders, tomorrow is the Battle Chase, the start of the Battle Chase event, and it is a week-long event. So, you know, if you can only play the weekends, then at least take advantage of it the first one. I don't know if it lasts until the second one or not. Look on my calendar, which usually never works when I'm playing. But if nothing else, you know, if you have somebody in your guild or a buddy that plays PvP but they're not really interested in the housing stuff, work out a deal with them. You know, say, hey, I'd be interested in compensate you some other way, and see if they'd be willing to work out a deal with you. Because if you're like me, I just don't do the PvP stuff. I mean, I've done some in the past, but it's usually just kind of goofy stuff and nothing where it requires me to do anything. Like I did the thing with the Starfall, but it was like just totally miserable. I felt so bad for my teammates because I was basically just fodder for the other PvPers and stuff. So it wasn't like I helped the team at all. But yeah, maybe you can work out something with someone, but I'm sure that they're doing these type of events to encourage people to queue for those particular bits that normally get ignored to some extent. So I applaud them on that. It's just hopefully I don't miss not having that decor. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't participate too. If I get like one, then I'm going to want a bunch of them, and I probably won't be able to do that. So, but and of course I don't know if it's soulbound stuff. If it's not, then maybe you can just snag it off the AH. That would be also handy. Um, but yeah, uh, hopefully you guys enjoyed the little bits that we did do today. We'll probably bring this up again one more time tomorrow. I'll put in some last little bits and then call it good. We'll see about where I landed on the decor count, and then we'll move on to some other stuff the rest of the month. Of course, on the 29th, we will be having the live stream showcase of the CBDC. So if you're still working on your particular project, just keep that in mind, the 29th. It needs to be done by then. If you have the plots private at the moment, be sure to remember to open them up to the public. Because while I might be neighbors with some of you, it's just easier if it's public. That way I don't have to worry about uh, hooking up with everybody, plus the fact that you're limited to how many neighbors you can have, so that kind of thing. But it's just easier if you remember to make your plots public for that. And of course, if you haven't already notified me about your entry, please do so. If you're just not sure you have, go ahead and mention it to me again if you want to be clear that I do have you on the list. Let me see, just real quick. I will go through the names that I have so far. I've got Zodies on Doxy. I've got Rabbits on Briella. I have Poise on Mia. Aziz on Ray. Maddie's on Issa. Cheeky on Savannah. Lay on Kaya. Faye on Lapalicious. Hubby as his. Bucky also has an entry. So those are the ones that I think it's 11 altogether. 11, 10 or 11, something like that. So if I didn't mention your name, that means I don't have the information. So if you want to be sure to be included in the live stream showcase on the 29th, be sure to give me the information. Basically, I need to know the character name, the faction, and the region. While it is open to both regions, this time I think we have more Javadiers. It's actually there's several NAers that have just decided to make Javid alts, and they're building over on here because a lot of people, they have their themes and stuff on their plots already, and they don't want to add these little temporary bits just on that plot, so they come up with these alts, and those switching over to the different region have the opportunity to have lots of spare alts that they can throw this little CBDC junk on. So yeah, I have it correctly, boy. I was trying to hunt you down on NA because I just assumed, but I know better now. So yeah, I've got that all sorted. And just give me that info, and that way I can put it onto the list and make sure to include it on the showcase on that day. Really looking forward to it. I've already seen some of them up close, and it's just amazing what you guys have put together so far. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest. And of course, we'll be visiting them all on the 29th, including mine. I'll make sure to include mine. And going to have to put my thinking cap on as to what we'll be doing for next month. Again, if you have any suggestions for challenges that you would like to see in the future, be sure to drop me a note. I'm happy to take in suggestions. I won't guarantee that we'll use it, but it might trigger some other kind of a thought from myself that I think could work for it as a good idea. In the meantime, stay cool with all this heat for us in Europe. I don't know how it is in the States, but it's pretty toasty. Drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated, everyone. And good luck with your builds. Hope you have fun. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.